Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Arcane. This is Road Life, I'm in Miss Matt. Hello. Okay, what's up, Arcane? This is episode 7. So last week we had the episode where they finally reunited Vi and Jinx, and it was short-lived, and immediately they got split up again. They got interrupted by the Firelights. And it was fucked too, because like they met and it was like heartwarming, and then Caitlyn showed up and Jinx was like, what the fuck are you doing with an enforcer? I do want to mention though that something I thought about when I was editing the episode is that so while I was watching it, Jinx was going like, what was that? What's that noise? And shit like that, and I was like, oh, she's crazy. While editing it, I think that maybe she took Shimmer, and the reason why I say that is because we saw Silco like maybe put Shimmer on her. It wasn't clear, but I think so. And if she's high on Shimmer and she's like, what was that noise? And then the Firelight showed up, maybe her senses are heightened. It's not so much that she's crazy as she's actually like hyper aware of her surroundings. So she was like, wait, shit, someone's coming. And then someone did come. So once in so much she was crazy as she was the only one that was perceiving that they were around. Anyway, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I'm just talking out of my ass, but yeah. Anyway, Jinx is not doing well. Jinx hasn't been doing well for a while. Also, someone told me that the puppets, like the effigies that you see in Jinx's room, Milo is the one that is on the couch, yes, but the tiny one that is on the ceiling is actually Clagger, and the reason why you can tell it's Clagger is because it has goggles. And I was like, oh, okay, so it is Clagger, which it makes sense. It's like it wasn't just Milo that she loved or hated, it was actually all of them, and I'm just like, okay, that makes complete sense. She's guilty about it. Yeah, and you also see it in previous episode a little bit. There's like one really cool moment where it's animated like she's sad and screaming, and then in her back is Milo and Clagger, almost as if she's carrying, like not so much carrying the memories as it's weighting her down, you know. So that's good. I enjoyed that. Oh yeah, Marcus and the Enforcers are grouping up to try and get Vi at Silco's essentially not request as much as it was just extortion, you know, I'm just gonna come in here and I'm just gonna play with your daughter, and if you don't do what I'm asking for, then who knows what might happen. You know, so that did happen. And Victor's dying, and then he went to meet up with, I'm like 99% sure it's Singed, and Singe was like, you'll do whatever it takes to like live or some shit like that, which is like what he was doing to that creature, and Victor didn't get it when he was a kid, but now when he's an adult he finally walks in and he's like, I get it now. So it's like, okay, we'll see where that goes. I kind of know where it goes, but not entirely, so we'll see how that ends. Anyway, if you'd like to watch the finale for Arcane, you can already do so on the Patreon, because I check it's 9 episodes, which means that this is episode 7, 8 and 9 are up already on Patreon. Otherwise you'll have to wait a week each, but if not, you can just go and watch it right now if you want to. Anyway, yeah, check out the Patreon, link in the description below, pop up on screen. Also forgot to mention, but shout outs to Nonman for basically sponsoring this video, as well as like every video that comes out here for like 2 months. So yeah, thank you so much. Let's begin. So Arcane season 1 episode 7, let's go. Cool. I'm like 95% sure we're gonna learn that Echo is the leader.
When were you planning to tell me that your lunatic sister works for him?
Just as soon as you came clean about what the hell you're really doing down here.
I told you the truth.
Bullshit. What was that glowing stone?
I like this point of view.
Hands off me! Leave her alone! Let me go!
Vi? Vi? Vi?
I like that Caitlyn was like, leave her alone. She still cares and is protective. Please be Echo. Hell yeah! It's a boy.
You're a dead girl.
Let's go.
What the hell is this all about?
What were you doing with Jinx?
Her name is Powder, and I just found her when you and your goons showed up.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, things
People
change. Yeah.
I'm getting that.
I didn't know if I could trust you.
So you just come out swinging?
He did do
Gee,
that.
I wonder who I learned that from.
I remember when you wouldn't stand up to me.
Things change.
I missed you,
Aw.
little man.
Aww.
How long have you had those off?
How long have you been whining?
Aww. Aww. Alright, we got one heartwarming reunion. We got one. The combination of Shimmer with Hexcore could do some crazy shit though.
Fortunately, we have the capacity to change our nature.
Yeah?
If you take this path, they will despise you. Now the legacy and the sacrifices we make for progress. It's why I parted ways with Heimerdinger.
Oh, you do have past too. You have a history.
Jace will understand.
I would tell him first. Oh, he's making a hammer. Is it making the hammer maybe?
It's your time now, Jace. No more red tape.
The thing about that
You
choice
can bring
Jace
Hextech
made
to the masses, just like you've always
was
dreamed.
entirely to save Victor.
First, I have to save Victor.
Let's just say I didn't always see eye to eye with my old man.
Ooh.
And she'll come to you when she's ready.
That's cool. I didn't expect her to say that.
I didn't lose her. She was there for me, not the Enforcer.
Oh, these facial expressions.
Caitlin.
There we go. Girl. You know what? I have to give so many credits to not only the animation team, but the voice actors in this fucking show. Everyone's pulling out their A game. It's so fucking good. What are you looking at? She wants to shoot down the fireflies. This is like a magical hangout
See if you can
place.
Make it down. Powder's gone by. All that's left is Jinx, and she belongs to
You're
Silver.
wrong. She's still in there. I can reach her.
You can't.
I know my sister.
She's not gonna give up. Oh,
This is
Fuck,
everyone
dude.
we've lost.
man.
Your sister works for him not because she has to, but because she wants to. I'm sorry, but that's who she is now.
She's not gonna give up. The fact that they even paint their powder in there. They consider her lost, even though she's alive.
What have you done with Vi?
She's worried, yeah.
Listen, let her go. I brought her here. It's me you want.
My hero.
I wanted to protect you.
From what?
She and the Enforcer are back for the crystal. Not for you. Have you forgotten how she left you? Who found you? Who cared for you? Gave you a home?
That's
I am your family. Everyone else betrays us.
that's true, but also manipulation.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like some Peter Pan
If
shit.
people had your
Like,
way, it'd be rubble and ash.
It's a misunderstanding. You got it. You have to let me take that back.
What is it?
It's a gemstone. It was stolen during the attack by your sister.
You just forgot to mention that?
we didn't really have much time.
Someone with the right knowledge could build any Hextech device.
What's Hextech? Like,
Be well within your rights to keep it. I couldn't blame you. But if you do, this cycle of violence will never stop.
getting philosophical here.
This is our best shot at setting the record straight. This city needs healing. More than I ever realized. Please, let me help you.
Does she have
I
a
have a
plan?
friend on the council.
She does.
Let me take the gemstone to him.
One condition. I'm the one who gives it to them.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
We can't afford to wait to find out.
Oh man,
Wait, what are you suggesting?
they want to go ham on them.
We should prepare our own countermeasures.
Make a weapon of our own.
The
Damn,
decision is yours.
I feel like he's gonna say yes, and that's gonna be finally the thing that breaks these two apart. There's a lot happening with Jason. Kind of everything depends on him. What's that? Is that Hammerdinger in a boat? Or Victor? Juice up.
I'm worried I have to do something I never thought I would.
He's gonna do it. He's not a fucking weapon. He's gonna make the hammer? Is he gonna make the hex hammer? I think Victor is actually making the mech suit. Man, this is some human transportation shit. Like, he's gonna hex himself up, mix with the shimmer. It's gonna make it so he'll survive. But, yeah. I feel like everything's gonna go to shit. I feel like we have a plan, but everything's gonna go to shit. I'm thinking, even if we get to Jace, Jace might not be able to help. But I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get to Jace. Because we might have to fight James. Which will lead to more heartbreak.
I can't leave her again.
Damn.
You can't change her.
I have to try.
Aww.
It's been real, Cupcake. Thanks for everything.
Aww. She's watching.
Just a goodbye, Ho.
It is, actually.
She wouldn't do that. Not again.
Okay.
What the hell is this?
Oh, and they're not gonna allow Caitlyn to come in.
Sir, I have proof. Silco's behind everything.
Yeah, but fucking Marcus. Echo saw that it was Marcus. I remember. Originally. So many years ago. Okay, she's coming back in. Fucking Marcus. We're kind of gonna need Jinx in order to get out of this one. To help us out. Fuck. What do you mean liar? She heard a gunshot and went back to her friends. Echo was just shot. Like, all the firelights coming in. Is something going on with the firelights? Are they bombs? Yeah. They were built. They are bombs. Holy shit! That's so cool! They're actually like micro creatures that they just built. That's so sick. Just execute this guy. Yep. That's a great mirroring to the first scene in the show. When your forces are the one shooting people down. Daughter.
Tell my daughter.
He just died. Whoa. Alright. Okay, Marcus down. I was expecting him to like do like literally anything else. Something more. Oh! The boy! Holy shit! Got her! Okay, it's out. She still has a gun though. Run. Wow. Vi has to go because Caitlyn can't move. Yes. Do it. Oh! Oh! Music, let's go! Oh, that's cool. That's so fucking cool. Wow. I feel like sometimes the animation team, the art direction team is just kind of flexing. They're just flexing on the entire industry. Is he? Yes, yes. Going backwards. Got her. Got her. He's not gonna be able to do it. she's gonna take advantage of this. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, they're both gonna be fine, but like, she was totally willing to just fucking suicide bomb that shit. Jeez. That's gonna be the end of the episode. Again, I said it during the episode, but it feels sometimes like the entire team who's animating Arcane, and not just the animation, because animation is the process of what you put the storyboard into an image, right? But like the entire like art direction and storyboard and everything regarding how any scene looks and what you're gonna see with the like shifting between like flashback, the kid version, the real version, all the colors and the way everything moves, the standstills, and just like everything is just, it really feels like they're just flexing. They're flexing on every animator in the world. Just like, look at what we can do. And given they probably have like a ton of money from Riot in order to make this shit look like as gorgeous as it looks. But fuck, dude, like, I remember when I started watching the show, like the first episode, and I was like, this reminds me of like Spider-Verse, you know, Enter the Spider-Verse. And I was like, it's probably like not as good as Spider-Verse, but that's fine, because Spider-Verse is a fucking masterpiece, so it doesn't have to be better. It's like almost impossible for it to be better than Spider-Verse in terms of like animation choices. And now I'm just sitting here like, fuck, man, I don't know anymore. Like, this just looks so good. And like, okay, fuck. Okay, let's chill down with the animation for a second, but it looks so gorgeous. And like, okay, so if you didn't... Okay, so during that fight between Jinx and Echo, there was the moment where Jinx shot Echo, and it was like the kid version, and Echo got shot in the middle, and they were like, "Ah, I got you." But then you see like the watch, and then it went backwards, it rewinded, and then you see the actual real time what's happening, and Echo wins. And I'm still not quite sure how that worked. Because it could have been a thing of like Echo, like it's like in his mind Echo is thinking back to like an event that happened when they were kids, when they were playing together, and then he thought about all the moves and he was like, oh, she's gonna do this shit, so I'm gonna anticipate that and I'm gonna do something different and then I'm gonna win. And he did that. But also in the game, and again, every time I talk about the game, I feel like I'm alienating a little bit of the audience that don't actually know jack shit about League, and they just know Arcane because they exist. And that's a mark of the show being a fucking good show, by the way. Whenever you watch the show and you think, yo, this show slaps, but you don't actually know jack shit about the source material, that means the show's fucking good. But like, in the game, Echo has this, I don't play Echo, but I know that he has this thing where like he basically rewinds back in time. Like, that's something he can just do. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I'm not sure if they explain it in any way in Arcane, like if he gains the power to time travel at some point. But like, when he pulled out the fucking watch, I was like, oh, let's go. He's doing it. My boy's doing it. He's gonna true man's world this shit. Let's go. He's doing it. My boy's doing it. He's gonna true man's world this shit. He's gonna go backwards in time a couple seconds. And he did do that. But because of the way that entire sequence looked, was animated, was directed, I have no fucking clue what happened. Like, I'm not sure if that was just in his mind. I'm not sure if he actually rewinded time, because he also rewinded Jinx's time, not just his own. So I'm just confused. I don't care. It looks sick. That's all I have to say. It looks sick, and he won. And that's something I like, is that Jinx, if you knew nothing about the games, you would almost just say Jinx would kill Echo in this scenario, because like it really seems like Vi and Jinx are like the main characters, which if you didn't know anything about League, you would look at that and you would be like, oh, everyone else is up for grabs, everyone else can just die. I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, they're both safe because I know they're alive in the game. But if you didn't know that, you could be like, oh, Jinx wins this fight because Echo Echo is not as important as Jinx is, and so it would be like a tragic death of like someone we know, and he just showed up, and he's awesome, and he's doing cool things, and he's like a freedom fighter, but like a good one, like he actually wants to help people, and then he like tragically dies, and it's like, fuck, man, like Peter Pan just died. He's like, he really had like a Peter Pan thing going on, like a cool kid Peter Pan going on, because they really did have like this like magical tree place when everyone can live freely and safely, not worrying about Shimmer and the fucked up reality of the Undercity and everything. It's like, that's like almost like a Peter Pan thing going on that he had with the Firelights, which is, it's fun to see how different it is, like the image of the Firelights when like we see them and they look like almost like terrorists or something, you know. It's like this group of people that showed up and they just beat you up and shoot down and steal shit, and it's like, okay, I never got the impression that they were bad, but they look like a force group. But then when you look at them here, it's like they're just trying to live a peaceful life, and they're trying to stop the bad things from happening. And it was really a magical thing, because when you see the giant magical tree house, and then you see people just skating around laughing, and it's just like, yeah, this is what life is for them. And it's almost like the only like good place in the entirety that we've seen in the show, like almost like in terms of like a good, nice place to live in, and not necessarily to live in because you are isolated from society, but it is this thing of like, life in the Undercity sucks. Life in Piltover kind of sucks because it's very bureaucratic. So this place is the only like place that's like actually feels free, you know. So it's a nice like dissonance between what you perceive the Firelights to be versus what it actually is. So yeah, that's super cool. But yeah, like the fact that we see Echo win, I think is super cool, because I would have put my money on Jinx, and I feel like most people would have put their money on Jinx, to the point that some people might have just thought that Jinx was gonna kill him. The fact that Echo won that, I'm just like, oh, sick! Like, he got her. That's awesome. And then when he could have killed her, but then he had this moment of like, I don't want to like kill my childhood friend, which is, it's also great for Echo, because the entire episode, Echo is like, that's not Powder anymore, that's Jinx. She's too far gone. She doesn't work for Silco because she has to. She works for Silco because she wants to. You know, he kept saying like, she's gone, forget about her. But then the moment that he actually has the ability to end this enemy, he has this moment of like, I don't want to do it, man. Like, it's awesome because it's like almost he's like convincing Vi, but also himself, that Powder is too far gone. But the moment he has the chance to end her, he's like, I can't. Like, she's someone that I like genuinely cared about, and I still kind of do. So he still hasn't fully given up on Powder yet, you know? But like, that's something I really like too. Earlier, they show you a mural that they had of all the people that died, that they lost to what the situation is. And there is Vi, there's Powder, there's Vander, and there's Clagger and Milo and a bunch of other people. But the fact that they painted Powder on the wall, it's awesome, because it shows that they, even though she's alive, they consider Powder gone, you know? They were like, she's not Powder anymore, she's Jinx, and we should fucking give up on her. We should just try and forget that that's even a possibility. Let's just say fuck it, and just, we lost Powder. That's a loss, and we'll never recover from that. And it's like, she's still alive, but they just consider her gone. That's something cool. Like, there's a lot of like little, this show does a lot of like little things that you infer from seeing them, you know? Like, so for example, when Jinx is in her room and she sees a firelight and she goes like, phew, I was like, oh, she's shooting down the firelights, you know? It's this thing of like, it's not something that the show tells you. It is something that it is kind of obvious, but then there are some other instances where it's not so obvious. Like, for example, the one that always come back to are when Victor is like, how much time do I have left? And then it cuts to the tarot cards, Death and Magician, which doesn't mean death. It means a new beginning followed by the peak of your potential, or like of your abilities or some shit like that. And it's like, oh, that's a fun combination. I see where we're going. But then also when he's like, when he puts the boat down and then you see the boat go fast and he can't keep up with it, it's almost like his capabilities, his abilities, the things that he can do go faster that his physical body can keep up with, you know, and that's always been the case. And that's something, a bunch of fun things that the show does that are so, that they don't explicitly tell you, but if you're paying attention, it's like, oh, that's symbolic, and that's so good. I enjoy that so much. That's I think my favorite thing about the show, for sure. Like, the show is, I don't want to say the show is like super smart, but it is. Like, it's not smart in the sense of like, oh, you must have a high IQ to understand. It's like, no, you can understand Arcane pretty easily. It's a very dramatic show, but they have a lot of like minor things that if you're paying attention, it's like, oh, that's cool. I like that. Just for flavor, but also to add like a little bit more to the characters if you notice it. Okay, talking about Victor. Let's talk about Victor. So Victor had to talk with Singe, and I like what Singe said. Singe said something along the lines of like, if you go down this path, they will hate you. They will reject you. Like, that is the price to pay for progress or whatever. It's the idea that like, if you really want to go hard on the progress thing, everyone's gonna hate you because you will become something that they do not like. You know, bound by morals or whatever. It's like, no, if you want to go down the hard progress route, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of that. And that's just going to end up with people just disliking you. And Victor is like, all right, Jace will understand. Here's the thing. I don't think he will. And the fucked up thing about this is that I feel like maybe Jace would understand is if Victor had told him, but he didn't. And I understand Victor. He's worried because it's like, if he doesn't understand, he won't let me do this. And if he won't let me do this, then I'm just gonna fucking die. So I have to do this. But like, that's also on Victor not trusting Jace. But I also think that Jace wouldn't let Victor do it. So like, well, maybe he would have. Like, because what I feel is gonna happen, because Victor did go forward with his plan. What's gonna happen is that Victor, I think that what he's doing right now, and I could be wrong, but I think he literally like made like a suit for himself. And I'm saying this just because I know the game. I could be wrong, but like, it looked like he made like some sort of like exoskeleton, and then he fucked himself up with Shimmer. And then he cut his blood and threw it in the hex core. And he's trying to use the hex core alongside himself and using the Shimmer in order to be resistant to the hex core just completely annihilating his body like it did to every other living creature. So that could be a fun combination, and I'm saying it right now, it's gonna work because I know Victor is alive in the game. But like, I don't know exactly what he's doing. I think that it is, he built like an exoskeleton. I think that's what he did, because he did have something just completely surrounding his leg, and then he also, I think he had like a thing over his like abdomen. So I think he's actually trying to build himself like some sort of exoskeleton, and then fuck himself up with Shimmer and the hex core. And whatever that might do to his body, I have no idea, but it's gonna be bad. It looked bad from the inside, and I've seen people getting fucked up on Shimmer, and they also don't look good. So I feel like Victor's not gonna end up well. Like, so yeah, man, like, I don't know. We'll see what our boy Victor's gonna be like next episode, but yeah, that's a little bit complicated over there, and I feel like Jace is not gonna like it. And I feel like Jace is not gonna like it, and there's gonna be a clear divide, and they're just gonna hate each other because Jace is gonna build a weapon. Jace is building the hammer. I'm pretty sure Jace is building the hammer, which is very interesting because, so they said we gotta build a weapon in order to protect ourselves, and I'm just like, that sounds like they're gonna build like a hex nuke, a hex nuke. And I'm just like, let's not do that. Let's not do a hex nuke. That sounds bad. Let's not nuke the Undercity. That sounds not good. And I understand that they're like, we're not gonna use it unless we have to. It's like, no, that's still bad. Like, I don't think you should be like, yeah, let's build a mega weapon and then not use it, just to be sure. It's like, no, if you build it, you're gonna use it. You're absolutely gonna use it. Maybe not right away, but like inevitably you will find an excuse to use it, and you're just gonna do it when maybe you could have solved things without using force. But then we start entering into an argument where like it's literally up to like, I don't know, we just guessing. So yeah, I don't know. But it appears Jace is not building a hex nuke. I think he's building the hammer. The hammer he says in the game. And I say that because he was looking through like books and he saw this piece of paper that was in between one of those books, and he was like, what is this? And I was like, what is that? It looked like a letter or something. And then they show you that no, it's actually like a drawing. I'm guessing it's a drawing he made when he was a kid. And in that drawing, he sees himself holding a giant hammer. And Jace then goes and tells his mom, I'm gonna do something that I didn't think I would have to do. And then you see the drawing, and it's like, oh, he's doing it. He's gonna make the giant hammer weapon. I will say though, that hammer's probably pretty great when it comes to like taking down like a group of people. That's fine. I mean, it could be bad. It could be really dangerous. But at the same time, I feel like if you're just gonna build like a power hammer, I'm just like, you know what? That's fine. You can make that. Sure, you can make that a power hammer that shoots like energy at people. I mean, you don't get one shot by that unless you have like 30 kills in League. So it's probably not that damaging. I mean, let's be honest. It probably is very damaging. The hammer that shoots things, but it's not like a nuke. That's what I'm getting at. It's not like a giant bomb. I feel like you can make something way more like damaging to people with just regular explosives than just making the powered hammer. So like, I feel like what he wants to make is not necessarily something that's gonna be like world changing. I mean, it might be. I mean, within the lore of the show, it might be. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like a nuke is not comparable to like a hammer that shoots like lightning or some shit. Like there's a difference. Like a hammer that shoots things is gonna take out like, I don't know, like a group of 10 people maybe. Not a nuke that you're just gonna wipe out the entire city. Like, so I was worrying that it would be something as massive as that. I don't think it's gonna be that. I think it's gonna make the hammer. And if it's gonna make the hammer, we'll see how dangerous and how bad the hammer is. But I do think that it's more of like him seeing himself as like, oh my god, I gotta be the hero. And then he looks at his drawing and is like, I'm gonna be the hero. I'm gonna make the giant hammer that I always dreamed of. And it is this thing where like, if someone tries to cause trouble, he's gonna show up at the bridge with the giant hammer and be like, all right, who wants to come in? Just fucking start blasting, the Danny DeVito. In that aspect, maybe it wouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the hammer goes. So yeah, now we see a bunch of weapons that we'll see characters use in the future. So he's gonna make the hammer, which you see him use in the game. Victor and Jace already made the thing that shoots the laser, the hex claw or whatever. That's something Victor uses. And then we also see the enhancer, like giant hands to move things, that we see Vi use. And I'm gonna be disappointed in this fucking show if we don't see Vi put on the giant like gauntlets and start fucking punching people. I don't care if it's the final episode and if it's just one scene. I need to see it. I need her with the giant fist. Just, ugh! I want to see that, man. Come on. Let me skim through the episode, see what else is there to talk about. I mean, Jinx's state of mind is just this. It's just this like downwards decline. It never gets any better. Just like, so right there at the end, she's seeing Vi say goodbye to Caitlyn, and she's like angry and jealous at the fact that they were having a hug, and then she was like almost convincing herself it's just a goodbye hug. It's just a goodbye hug. But then when they heard a gunshot, Vi turned around. She was like, oh, I'm going to go back to help. And Jinx was like, oh, you liar. And it's like, what? It's like, girl, what? It's because, like, okay, it's not that this doesn't make any sense, because it does, but it's this thing where, like, Jinx is upset at Vi for caring about what could happen to Caitlyn and going back to help them out. But, like, Jinx, but, like, it makes complete sense. Like, but it makes complete sense if you, like, if you spend time with anyone to the point that you would, like, give them, like, a goodbye hug, it means that you care about them to some degree. So if you hear a gunshot, it's like, oh shit, what happened? I'm gonna go help. Because, like, of course you would. But Jinx is getting upset at the fact that she did that. But that's not... It's not that that doesn't make any sense. It's that to Jinx, she almost doesn't care about anything other than what Vi feels, in a way. So, like, to Jinx, like, Piltover could have just been nuked. Like, if Piltover just exploded, if you see, like, a giant flash of light and the entire city is gone and the bridge collapses, if Vi had turned around and been like, oh my god, what happened? Jinx would have still been like, oh, that fucking liar. How dare she care about anyone other than me? Which is, it's fucked. It is fucked. Like, because it's like, oh, she's betraying me again. You know, like, everything everyone is saying about her caring about other people is fucking wrong. And it's like it's so fucked because, like, okay, this is why this is so good. It's because when I'm watching a show or a movie or any piece of media, and I see a character have this sort of, like, misunderstanding of what they mean, how they feel, I almost can imagine what, like, I can imagine, like, a scenario where you can, like, actually talk and, like, end up okay. I'm having a really hard time doing that with Jinx, and that's why that is so good, because, like, I keep thinking about Jinx and I'm like, I don't know if I could convince her that I care about her, but also about this other person. Like, I don't know if I could convince her. And that's not because that's not necessarily because Jinx is a bad person, or because she's stubborn or selfish. It's because she's a broken person. It's because Jinx is so broken that it's difficult to, like, it's difficult for her to understand exactly, like, is it even complex emotions? Because, like, Jinx is such a mess that she wouldn't be able to accept by saying, like, I care about you and I don't want to leave you, but also I don't want this other person to die. Because Jinx is literally going like, what do you mean you don't want that other person to die? Like, what do you care about them? You don't care about me. You care about them more than you care about me. If I was dying and that other person was dying, would you care about the other person? Would you care about me, your sister? It's like, okay, Jinx, alright. Like, is it possible to be a yandere about your sister? That kind of what that is. That is kind of what that is. A little bit. A tiny bit, you know? But, like, yeah, like, Jinx is so broken that it's, like, difficult to, like... It's difficult for me to imagine a scene where they can, like, have, like, a rational conversation where that ends up okay. And, like, okay, here's the thing. I know the game. I know Jinx is bad. So I know that that's not gonna end up okay for the both of them, which is tragic. But it is really heartbreaking to see it happen. It is really heartbreaking to see her, like, go from so into Vi, which is why she ends up like this. So obsessive and just distrustful and spiteful and just... that's so... It's really heartbreaking. It really is. Oh, man. Oh, boy. This show is really just gonna fuck me off at the end, isn't it? You can watch the end already right now on Patreon. Random show in the middle of the review. But, okay. Another thing I want to talk about is the scene at the beginning where Vi talks with Echo. And they have this moment where Echo doesn't know if he can trust Vi. And doesn't even know why the fuck Vi is here. And Vi is antagonistic towards Echo. And then she just hugs him. And then they have this, like, heartwarming, like, moment. And they cry on each other's arms. And I'm just like, oh. Like, okay. There is some good in this show. This show can give me some positive feelings every now and then. I feel I feel happy for them. Like, they reunited their childhood friends. They care about each other, and that's something that really fucked me up. But also, like, I feel like I'm particularly weak to stuff like this because I mentioned this previous episode because of Vi. Because in this episode, you see a scene where Echo says, I change, people change. And Vi is like, yes, I'm realizing that. It's the thing where, like, again, Vi spent 7 years or whatever of her life in prison. Complete isolation, not meeting new people, not taking in new information, not living through new events or new experiences. Which means that to Vi, her life came to a standstill at that age, 16 or whatever that age was. So to Vi, like, nothing happened in between the end of episode 3 and the beginning of, like, episode 5. The entire time skip. So she doesn't know anything about Hexter. She doesn't know anything about Shimmer. She doesn't know jack shit about what happened to Powder. She even thought she might be dead. She doesn't know what happened to Echo. She doesn't know what happened to nobody. Well, so at this point, she's walking into everything being different. All of these people changing and being different from, like, completely one side to another. And she is having a hard time keeping up and understanding. And, like, Jinx is like, oh, you're on the side of the Enforcers. And Vi is like, I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what that, like, gemstone is. Echo is like, are you working for Silco? And she doesn't know. No, I don't know what's happening. Like, she literally just wanted to see her sister, wanted to save her. She literally just wanted to see her sister. Like, she wanted to save her, and then she went to jail. And then for 7 years, she was like, oh, I don't know what happened. She comes out of jail. She's like, I want to see my sister. And then the world is falling apart around her. And she's like, I don't know. I don't care. I literally just want to go hang out with my sister. Like, that's it. And, like, it's so tragic because, again, I have personal experiences with this. Because it's the thing where, like, to Vi, everyone is still the same as they were 7 years ago. Even though you rationally know that people change over time. You rationally do know that. But inside Vice's head, when she thinks about Powder, she's thinking about Powder. She's thinking about all those, like, moments where, like, they caress each other's cheek and they support each other. She's not thinking about all the fucked up shit that she's doing killing people. Even though that's the current version, which is Jinx. When she's thinking about Echo, she's thinking about that little boy who's just like that was so like gleeful and just playful. She's not thinking about this dude who's like so hard and just fighting this like big fighter who's standing up for what he believes is good. And like he even had like a line that was really cool when Vi starts beating herself down, being like, I should have been there for you. And Echo is like, telling yourself that is a good way to end up insane. It's like, it's a good way to end up losing your mind. And it's like, exactly, that's what happened to Jinx. And to Echo, that's probably what he was for him too, to a degree, until he at one point had to force himself to stop thinking that way. Just being like, what would have happened if I went there with you guys that night? And it's like, at some point, he was just like, all right, I'm not going to think about that anymore, because if I do, it's going to be bad for me. And I'm just going to end up broken, like Jinx says. But again, to the point of Vi just being stuck in the past, like that's not, like that's so tragic to Vi to me. And it is, Vi is not the most tragic character in the show. She's not. I think Jinx is. I think Powder is the most tragic character in the show, probably. Like if I had to think about it, it would be Jinx. I don't know, maybe Victor or something. But I like, Vi is the character that to me resonates with the most, because it's the one that I can understand more through personal experiences, which is ironic because I like when I started the show, I was like, yo, I love Vi. I love how she's like, hell yeah, let's punch people. And now I'm just like, actually, I connect with Vi on a more than just like, yo, her character design is sick. I'm just like, no, actually I get her. The idea of just missing time and then trying to catch up with what reality is now. But in your mind, everything is still as it was before, but now everything's different and you're trying to like understand it. You're trying to adapt, but it's difficult to do so. And in some ways it is heartbreaking because you're realizing that a lot of things that meant a lot to you, like they don't apply anymore. And it's like, this was my drive for this entire amount of time. Like Vi's drive for her entire life, and then for the entire amount of time that she was in prison, which is 7 years, is just like thinking about Powder, probably thinking about her dead friends, but in some way she like forgave Powder. She's like, she was trying to help, like, understandable, like, because that what happened that night was fucked, and what her reaction to it was fucked but understandable. So she probably beat herself up about that final interaction so many times, which makes sense why when they finally reunited, she just went and hugged her and she was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Like, makes complete sense. But things changed a lot for Powder. Changed a lot for Echo. They changed for everybody. And Vi is literally just trying to catch up, and she's realizing now how different things are. And now she needs to like readjust. And it's not just readjust to like, oh, everything's different. It's readjusting to the fact that like my entire life was kind of built around Powder, and now Powder is like actually insane, a bad person, and my enemy. And she's like, I don't compute. I don't understand. It's like, I feel so bad for her, for how she feels. Like, that's so awful to me. It really is. Okay. The final thing I want to talk about probably is Heimerdinger. I literally just remember. You see a shot where Heimerdinger is walking into what looks like the Undercity with like a hood on. I don't know what he's about to do. Maybe he's gonna go meet Cinch, because Cinch at one point mentioned in this episode, like, this is why I part ways with Heimerdinger, because it implies that they had some sort of relationship, but at some point they fell out. So, sure, maybe a mirror to Victor and Jace. Could be. But yeah, anyway, that's going on. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about in the episode that is like super worth mentioning. Oh, there was the scene with Caitlyn earlier. Like, okay, so Caitlyn is so good because like you can look at Caitlyn and you can be like, she has no personality or something like that. I can see someone looking at Caitlyn and being like, she doesn't have that much personality oozing off of her. But no, like if you notice what she's saying, you can be like, okay, she slaps. Because so they were fighting like earlier in the episode when they were both caught by Echo. They were both prisoners. They had bag on their heads. Caitlyn and Vi, they were like kind of fighting. Caitlyn was like, I shouldn't have trusted you. And Vi is like, they're not with Silco. And it's like, oh, but this captures, whatever. Like they had this whole like discussion, like not discussion. It was straight up a fight. And then they came in and then they started taking Vi away. And Caitlyn was like, no, let her go. Let her go. What are you doing to her? Where are you taking her? And like, that's great because Caitlyn is actually like worried about Vi. Even though they were just fighting like 2 seconds ago. She was like, no, I'm worried about her. I care about her, you know? And then when they came back for Caitlyn to let her go, to release her, they brought her like water and she like fucking threw the water away. And she was like, what did you do with Vi? Where is she? Why did you do to her? And then she was like, okay, listen, she came here because of me. If you want to take someone, take me, not her. It's like, Caitlyn is so good. Like, she cares so much. And, like, that's something I love about her. Because, like, I love how much she cared. Showing that a character cares about something or someone is always good. And it's always so heartwarming to see. And especially when there's, like, a hardcore ship between those two. Like, let's fucking go, those two. Let's go, lesbians. Okay. Yeah, Caitlyn cares a lot. I love Caitlyn. She's so fucking good. Because like in that situation, you wouldn't necessarily start screaming like, no, what are you doing to her? Unless you really care about that person. You like, a lot of people would be concerned about themselves. Just like, what are you going to do? Like, what is going to happen to me after you're done with this person? But not Caitlyn. Caitlyn is immediately, they were fighting and then she was like, no, hold on. What are you doing to her? Don't do anything to her. Like, she's like, no, take me instead. It's like, she's so good. Caitlyn's good. Caitlyn's fantastic. So, and I can see why Vi has these moments where Vi is like, I actually do care about Caitlyn a lot. Because Caitlyn do cares about Vi a lot. So they have this moment of like, oh, I really like this person and I hope they end up together. That, you know, that would be a good way for the show to end, you know, just like they're gonna destroy my heart, they're gonna break me with Jinx and Victor and shit, and you know, everyone's gonna die, there's gonna be a civil war or whatever, and they're gonna nuke Son or some shit, I don't know, but like all you need to do is to just give me Vi and Caitlyn just just actually have a, like an actual proper relationship, I'll be like, all right, I'm good. I can leave this show like with some semblance of like positive emotions if you do finally end up doing that. But okay, I think that's gonna be it for this discussion. Yeah, thank you for being here. And okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction episode to Arcane. If you would like to watch the finale for Arcane, the next 2 episodes, you can do so already over at the Patreon. Check out the link in the description below. Social media, all sorts of cool stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.